Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Riff Raft, building our future through skills and creating resilience. I'm Limina, and my co-host is joining me again today. Finally, spring, I think. Hey, David.
I think so, finally, yes. I got 3 days of gardening in so far, and today's
Oh,
date is what? April 29th. Holy crap.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
And don't you have snow still right now?
So we had a 4-day snow wind storm that broke up everything, was completely crazy, shut down a lot of the roads, and now it's going to be plus 20 today. So I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
It's that really,
Yeah.
it's kind of a strange spring in that it's that nice weather, then completely snowed in, then nice weather, then completely snowed in. It's been kind of doing that for over a month now. That having snow at this time of year isn't unusual. Having it this often kind of is.
Yeah, we had the same winter, and we were griping on the last episode about it, but so we won't put everyone through it again this time. But
I
shitty,
have,
shitty March, bad weather
yeah,
all March. So we're a month behind on the gardening seasons.
yeah, and kind of April too. So, there's been years because I hoop house my gardens that I've been able to put plants in the ground by now, and then protect them under like a greenhousey type idea. But this year it's like, nope, it's too cold at night. Even on these plus 20 days, that wind feels really cold. So, but
Yeah.
spring is still in the air. We feel that way, but the snow greens up the grass just like rain does, right?
Yeah, so we had Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday all really warm, really sunny, and really dry.
Mm-hmm.
So like we just put in 10 or 11 hours per day for the last 3 days. I just got home from a massage. That's the only reason I'm even functional right now. But like
Mm,
seriously, like a lot of labor in 3 days just to get things
mm,
ready and stuff. And it's like, man, oh man, at approaching 50 years old and plus having like health problems,
yeah.
fuck man, homesteading is really hard. But we
Yeah.
thank ourselves like we went to bed the other night and we're like, we're both just so tired with all this
Mm-hmm.
gardening shit. But
Mm-hmm.
there's something pleasurable about it. It's the right
Mm-hmm.
kind of pain, if you like.
Mm-hmm. I think there's
Yeah.
something karmic about manual labor, and it's interesting. I was talking to Andre the other day, just kind of personal, and he's starting his gardening out in Quebec, and he said there's something that's really necessary about manual labor. And I think that's right. Maybe it's just the movement of the body, or actually being tired when you go to sleep, or actually you can't really be on a screen and do manual labor too. So that's kind of interesting. So shout out to Andre, my favorite Frenchman.
Yep. Good old Andre. I've been thinking about
Yeah.
emailing Andre. He's been on my show like numerous times too, so people know Andre.
Uh, me and
And
him,
just thanking him. Yeah, I was just
yeah,
gonna thank him for being like a swell dude and spending lots of time on my podcast and giving lots of great conversations with me and yeah, helping out.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think like his writing's amazing. He just had a new article come out. I had him on here and just as a side project and my other channel, the Human Responsibilities Tribunal, and we talked about trying to reclaim the family after the sort of the brokenness, and it was an interesting conversation. I don't know how successful people will be, because you need so many factors there, but it's interesting. But speaking of expanding families and stuff, I have news. Do you want to hear it?
Let's hear your news. Yes.
My
Oh.
first broody hen. So she's been sitting on these eggs here. She just wouldn't let me move her, so I gave her a few more, and we're doing the do nothing method of hatching and see what happens. So she's on day three of sitting on, I think she won't even let me touch her, so I don't even know how many eggs she has under there. I suspect it's somewhere between and 4 and maybe 7, because a couple of hens came and like sat on her and laid eggs on top of her that she just then scooched under. So that is pretty amazing because I wanted sort of a self-sustaining flock. That's why I have a rooster as well, and then I have the dual purpose. They're quite big hens. So we'll see. The only thing I plan on doing, I gave her a little food and water, vitamin water. is I'm going to move her back and on the floor before she hatches out, if she hatches out and doesn't abandon them. Just because I just don't want it to be where I have to create her own space for her and do this and do that and then interfere a whole bunch. Because the idea for me is to have a self-sustaining flock where I don't do any work, you know? So anyway, that's Princess. She's good to go. And this is my first time ever attempting this because I actually have 15 chicks in my brooder right now. So heritage meat birds. And man, between like what they need and pasty bot, and I've got one that choked yesterday, so I spent an hour trying to revive it and keep it alive.
Jesus.
You know, it'd be really more energy efficient on my end if I could get a few hens to hatch themselves out.
Hmm.
So
Oh,
anyway,
yeah.
that's my big news.
Yeah, you got a brooding hen. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I've seen people's
Hmm.
operations usually with a light. You know, they put the eggs under the light, and they do it kind of that way. They don't let their hens literally sit on the eggs, right? But you're doing it the old school way. That's interesting. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
we'll see if it works because that breed I have is not really known for being super motherly, you know. So we'll see. Because I feel like if I start interfering now, other than just some food and water, then then I might as well just raise them myself, right? But you know, it takes space. Like we've got a whole crate in our garage, and then you have heat lights or heat plates. I have the heat plate. Then you have check them 15 times a day, then treat for pasty. But now because I've had a splay leg, an injured leg, and now that chick that choked. I also have a heat lamp and a little setup in my laundry room where I bring them in if they need to convalesce. And it's like, it, it's a lot of work, I guess, if you want to have healthy chickens and you want to take care of them right. But what I would rather do is just have animals that raise themselves.
Yeah.
Hmm. Anyway, so yeah, so that was my big news. Thanks for letting me share that. I'll let people know how it goes because it's, you know, if people do let their chickens or their hens hatch out some chicks, they often do a lot for them. So we'll see what the do nothing does. And the cost is minimal, so she won't lay any more eggs during this time. So I'll probably lose it's 21 days for chicks. So that'll be a loss of probably 15 to 16 eggs.
Interesting. Can you
Yeah.
see this? Can you see this photo if I put it close to the camera? Not really.
No,
Yeah, it
no.
doesn't matter. It's a picture of forest with the sun shining down with the chicken coop
Uh,
and a
yeah,
long. So we also did a little bit of chicken thing too. Yeah, we made them a little. I guess just an area where they will live now in the forest because they were wandering on neighbors' properties. We were like, let's let the chickens just go run free everywhere, yay!
yeah,
But no, they shit on the doorstep. They do bad things. They have
yeah.
dust baths in your garden. They pull out
Mm,
crops that are growing. They do bad things. So yeah, so
mm,
we built them a nice, beautiful, huge enclosed area. So they have a
mm,
coop, a big, beautiful coop. Then they have a big outdoor caged in cooped area. And now we cut a
mm.
hole in that. Then they can go out into the forest and have a huge, big, rounded, beautiful area. And they
Okay.
seem so happy because I think when chickens wander around by themselves without a rooster, I have 6 of them,
Mm,
and I'm always like, "Shit," I'm almost doing a head count all the time.
mm.
There's owls. I think that they're nervous running around by themselves all the time. Also,
Yeah, well, roosters really do provide some protection. I think I told you a few weeks ago that my rooster saved one of my hens from a hawk. It fought off the hawk,
mhm,
and his name's Zeke. He's not very small, you know, and he successfully saved her life, which means either a chicken or eggs for me, right? And I think that's important. And you're probably right in sort of some stability
hmm.
for them. Yeah, yeah, I feel like it's really interesting. I feel like it's really interesting. So, um,
It's part of the
do you
raft. We're
think do you think
talking.
you'll get a rooster?
No. My neighbors don't want I mean, it's a joke. It's a bit of a joke, but, like, I got a neighbor who's like, when I said I was getting chickens, He was like, "You're not getting a rooster, are you?" And I was like, "No, no." And we just don't want one. Firstly,
Oh, yeah.
partly because of the noise,
Mm,
and now that they're not free range chickens really anymore, we don't really need them for that. We're not hatching them either yet.
mm,
I mean, it's our first year owning chickens. We just want to
mm,
get 6 eggs per day, which we have been getting religiously even through the winter every day. 6 eggs.
mm,
It's awesome.
mm,
It's fucking awesome. We're
mm,
giving them away and stuff, you know.
me too.
And I mean,
Or selling
people
some.
might be
Yeah.
wondering, like, why the hell are these people talking about chickens so much today? But no, it relates to the show, to the
Hmm.
Raft show, doesn't it?
Well, we've had
Homesteading,
a
having
couple.
chickens.
So today our plan was to sort of review our first 9 episodes, and we have talked about chickens a lot. So chicken update seems
Yeah,
pertinent
yeah.
because there is a lot to them. So this week it was a 2 solid days of, the chicks are 2 weeks old now, so them, injuries, checking on them, cleaning their brooder every so often. But then now it's also for all my animals, it's mite deworm time. And I treated all my large hens with diatomaceous earth for mites, and catching them is just a pain in the ass. But then also, you got so much DE all over you. You look like you just left a Motley Crue concert. In the 80s, you got so much white powder all over you. So it's like,
Mhm.
it's spring and fall seems to be such a busy, busy time for animals, especially if you want to treat them right. I usually make sure they have dust baths with wood ash and diatomaceous earth and sand in it. But also, I think you just gotta look, and the one thing that I've really taken to doing with both the big and the little hens, and even my pets now, is doing health checks, regular health checks. So while I had them out for mites, it's like check their feet, check their beak. Where are they missing feathers? Why are they missing feathers? Don't just assume they have mites, although you should assume they all have mites. Checking to see if they have any actual lice that you can see or any bugs that you can see. So,
Mm. I see the chickens picking things off of each other quite a lot. Oh, I find that's good. They're
yeah,
picking the mites off of each other, or the ticks. We got ticks here. Yeah.
yeah, we're having a huge tick bloom right now where I am.
Mm,
Your
sweet.
neighbors are closer than mine. Hey, my chickens could wander off for a kilometer and not hit anyone.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's a little close. They just wander through the forest a few hundred feet, and there's a neighbor
Yeah,
there, and a few hundred feet that way, there's a neighbor also. But
yeah,
no one else around, and a lake in the front. It's kind of nice.
yeah,
Pretty private, but
yeah,
they don't want the fucking chickens over there, and they really don't want them over there. So it's more of a serious thing. This fence. It's like we have to keep them in a little
yeah.
bit because
I I,
I
I,
hear that
I
the
get
neighbor
that.
got really angry, actually, really angry when they shit all over his deck or something. And it's like, this is not good. This is not neighborly. We got to get these chickens in a fence.
Well, I like that you think about that because it's easy to get upset about things like that, but they do shit all over, and their poo attracts flies, and
Yeah.
then you have flies all over, right? So
Yeah.
I kind of get it if
It's
they've
all good.
chosen not to have it. Yeah, yeah.
It's all
And
good.
also,
And I give them
if
lots
they're,
of eggs too. We're so friendly. I always give them I give them 2 dozen eggs at a time. It's like,
yeah,
guys, take
yeah,
the fucking eggs, and they love them.
yeah,
So it's all good.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's some importance there, and maybe we could swing into gift giving. And we talked about community on one of our episodes, and I actually, after re-listening to them, I think that's my favorite episode. And I like what you're doing there because even though there's been a complaint, you're taking responsibility, but you're still giving the guy some eggs, which does really build up that community and probably builds up some goodwill if something goes wrong.
Yeah, you just can't. I mean, I was nervous having them run around anyway because they're gonna get killed by animals. I'm in the fucking forest. We're like really in the forest. I'm not in the city. I'm out in the boonies. There's owls,
Hmm.
foxes, weasels. I live on a lake. There's things swimming out of there, coming up here, chewing things in the middle of the night
Hmm.
and trying to get in the fucking coop.
Hmm.
Yeah, coyotes, hawks, all kinds of stuff. So I was always nervous about it too. And apparently they wandered all the way up the road and stuff. And I was thinking, Jesus, they're going too far. So I've been thinking about doing something anyway. Keep them in a fenced in area. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
I think there's not
and not shitting on the
that
neighbor's deck.
yep, that's not an issue. So I've been learning I've been trying to do some like feed free, more natural ways of when they are in the coop, especially in the winter or whatever. And I've been looking
Mhm.
into this algae, which I can't remember its name, that you can grow in just a kiddie pool within your coop run, and it feeds them, right? And then also, I've extolled the virtues of cardboard. I'd like to talk now about comfrey. What a versatile plant in terms of your own healing. Um, it's debatable whether you can ingest it. I think you can. Its pioneer name is bone knit, so really helpful for wound healing. But you can also cut it and use it as a live mulch, or you can
Mhm.
cut it and put it in your water barrel and it
Mhm.
helps fertilize your plants. But now I've learned you can grow it in your chicken coop because it's almost invasive. It's so hardy. And then you just slash it, let it lay in the sun, and the chickens eat it.
The chickens will eat comfrey. Hey, interesting. And they
Yeah,
like it?
yeah,
Okay, because it
yeah,
is it's toxic to humans, but in a small amount under the right circumstances, herbalists do say you can take a little. Although on the internet, of course, you ask the internet anything, and it's like, oh, it's bad. Don't do it. It's bad.
yeah, yeah,
Go to fucking big pharma and do whatever it is you're
yeah,
looking to do here.
yeah, yeah.
Don't eat the comfrey, but fuck them. No,
Beef,
comfrey is awesome. I use a lot of comfrey around here in
yeah, yeah.
my garden. Oh yes. Yep.
So what it said was you could slash that, and just because it's got those little filaments, lay it out in the sun and let it dry for a day, and then give it to your birds.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
also want to grow a big, beautiful batch of sunflowers, which I hate. I don't even
yeah,
like having them, but to dry them and throw them into the coop once in a
yeah.
while throughout the winter.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a smart idea. I saw that on a YouTube video. A guy
Mm-hmm.
does that with his chickens, and I thought that's smart because you can enjoy their beauty in the summer
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and feed them shit, and we could eat them too if we wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
little flowers.
I think it's important. You can get really caught up. So I had a lady who I trade eggs for grass-fed beef from her. And one of the things she said is her husband really likes my eggs because he feels like even the organic eggs, they taste like feed, like the chicken layer ration. He said because that's all they get. So they're still organic, but that's all they get. You can tell they don't get anything else. And so ours get scraps, and then they get like mealworms, extra protein, and then they also get whatever plants are around that I think I can feed them when I do stuff like that. And then things like if I eat bacon or pork or something with a lot of fat, I'll dump a whole bunch of rolled oats in it and let it absorb it and then give them that.
Nice.
So just thinking about how you can feed them with stuff you would toss away, having a really robust uh food repertoire for them, I guess. So
Yeah. Oh
so
yeah.
yeah, so I would say that it saves money. Now I also wanted to add in as an amendment too is that we've signed up for the Loop program. Um, so that's where they're taking waste now from grocery stores and redistributing it. That sounds terrible, communist
Mhm.
almost, but to small and large farmers to feed your animals.
Yeah. Yeah. And you could make a vegetable stock out of a lot of that crap too. You'd boil it all up.
Yeah.
I
You
mean,
have to sign a disclosure saying you won't.
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, um
Okay.
but it doesn't really matter, right? Like I feel like it's a great program anyway. I don't mind taking things out of it. I used to dumpster dive, so it doesn't bother me.
Mhm.
But I think it's a good program. So I just wanted to go back on chickens, and that was my amendments for that. Re-looking at it.
Chickens. Yeah, that's important because when shit goes
Mhm.
down, like one egg is going to sustain you for the day for sure. I mean, we often eat two boiled eggs each for breakfast and nothing else, and it
Yeah,
sustains us pretty well for quite a while.
protein's the best way to start the day. I think it really is sustaining.
Man, eggs. like when you think about shit that goes on in the world and things that could happen, and just in general, it's too expensive to buy shit at the grocery store.
Yep.
These eggs, oh my dude, 6 of these eggs every day. It's almost like solid gold right now.
Mhm.
They're
Yep.
beautiful.
Yeah.
They're beautiful, amazing, gigantic, wicked, awesome eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah.
And it's interesting to give gifts, right, of food to other people or food sources, even if it's seeds or whatever. I think that's something people you feel good about instead of the number one neighbor cup from the dollar store that you give all your neighbors or whatever. I think it's a good thing to share in that too and to feel positive about it. And I think there is a bond that we have with animals, right? But
Mm.
the idea of domestication just being a conquering of another species, although for industrial farms it seems to be. But I think for smaller farmers or homesteaders, there's actually a bond there. Did I ever think I would spend most of a day trying to resuscitate a chick who was joking? No, I thought that
Mhm.
was ridiculous till I got here,
Mhm.
so.
There's something metaphorical too about the egg, if you think about it. Yeah, it's
Hmm.
something,
Hmm.
seed of life, and
Hmm.
you're giving that away as a gift.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so we did a whole episode on gift giving, didn't we?
Yeah.
Around the Christmas season. That was like episode 2 or
Hmm.
3 or something we did. Yeah, and
Yeah.
a lot of interesting things came out there for sure.
Yeah.
The anthropology of gift giving, it goes way back,
Yeah.
and there's
Yeah.
many different ways one could look at the concept of giving
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
whatnot. Yeah, and community building
Hmm. Yeah.
and stuff like that.
That's what you're doing with your neighbor. So what was your so in our recap, what did you decide was your favorite episode or the one that you thought was most productive?
Well, should we just go through the whole list? Like, just like one with the first episode we did of this show, and also throughout today's podcast, I think we should kind of also explain a little bit also as we go along what this podcast is all about. Why are we doing it? What's the point of this? We both hate
Yeah.
social media. We both are disgusted by the internet in general. Why are we even here together at all? Well, we'll
Right.
go through. We'll peel those layers as we go. But let's talk about the show. So, for episode 1 was about the historic no what was it, the heroic age of Arctic exploration.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
why would we talk about that? um to talk about human endurance, right, through hard
Hmm.
times, didn't we?
Hmm. Yeah.
What else came out for you to talk about that episode?
Well, I think in my analysis of myself, I don't feel like I have what those people do. They're almost like superheroes for me, like maybe something to work towards. Like seems like they've ruined all comic book heroes or what have you, and maybe that is the last vestige of what the superheroes are, yeah,
Hmm.
for me. So I really like that, and I really like that it's so close to us that um historically that it's easy to recognize things in ourselves. I read this book, 13's Moons, and in the book, this like young kid's 13, the step parents, because his parents died, are like, yep, we've indentured you for years. You have
You broke
next,
up.
it's in the next state. They indentured this kid, and so they sent him over the next date, and I think, wow, 13-year-olds here can't even make toast. And 100 years ago they were being sold and then sent to go work, and he got him there by himself. And I understand that it's a fictional story, but you can see that that would be real. So that's something I like about it. What do you like about it? I think you were really into the Shackleton story.
Well, the show's called Riff Raft, and our logo has a life raft.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I've kind of and the word riffraff means,
Mhm.
people who say fuck society, or the bad apples in the bunch, the people who don't wear the masks
Mhm.
in the grocery store. That's the
Mhm.
riffraff. So we are the riffraff. So it's a play on words. So we thought episode 1 could have a nautical theme. So we're kind of goofing around also in our
Mhm.
serious look at
Mhm.
humanity with this show. Yeah, so it's kind of fun. Yeah, the heroic age of Arctic exploration. That's what they actually
What do you
call it. It's
think of
like,
the word hero then, when in as it pertains to that, maybe? Because now it's like everybody's a hero. Nurse heroes, teacher heroes, capstone heroes. It just means you have a shop down by the river.
yeah, I know. Well, yeah, hero. I don't know, man. Well, to go on a heroic expedition, yeah, but
Hmm.
that's I don't know, man. That's quite something. Where you got like 10 specialists. You got your cook, you got your navigator. Whatever. I
Hmm.
don't know.
Hmm.
Different guys to do the job to
Hmm.
achieve a goal, and they know that they're probably going to die on the way. That's a part of the deal. Maybe you'll die,
Right. Hmm.
but you'll be very famous at the end and rich. Probably, if you discover the South Pole first, you're going to be a rich man. You're going to be famous.
Hmm.
You got all kinds
Hmm.
of stuff. So we talked about how certain groups, that's what they wanted. They wanted to be
Right.
first just for the prestige. The British in particular, they had an expedition that went ahead of Shackleton
Mm.
and then the guy you covered, the Danish guy,
Yeah. Yeah.
Amundsen.
From the Belagica. Yeah.
Yeah, they froze to death on the way. The guys who wanted pride. They were not heroic.
Yeah.
The guys who took
Yeah.
their time, they fucking planned everything out to a T.
Yeah.
They were not in a rush.
Yeah.
They wanted to really achieve this goal for themselves. For a
Hmm.
spiritual goal more so than anything else. Sure, fame, I get it. Sure, you're gonna get that too. Go ahead. Nothing wrong with that, being rich and
No.
famous. But they made it with hardly even a sunburn.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that for me in the actual historical research for that episode, that stood out for me a lot. What is a hero? I don't know. It's
Yeah, and I think the other thing that happened was then we took a look at exploration now, and we moved into the second episode and had an evaluation on Everest, because
yeah,
that
yeah,
word hero really stuck with us. And now we look at these, tech millionaires going to Everest to climb Everest, but the Sherpas carry everything in and out, including their shit. Um,
yeah. I think that might be my favorite episode, the Everest episode. It's the episode that deviates the most from the actual core purpose of the show, which is kind of to try to be helpful if we could and offer different solutions how to fuck the system and do it yourself. The system is
mhm,
sinking. Get on the raft and get away from this evil system. Big pharma,
mhm,
do some eat comfrey instead. The mental health
mhm.
paradigm, grow your own food. That's kind of our thing. So how does
Yeah,
Mount Everest come into it? Yeah, you're right. A lot came out for me in that episode, and I love it. I thought it was so interesting, and to this day, I'm still reading news about Everest. There's endless
yeah,
crazy shit going on
yeah.
Everest all the time.
So tell me about that.
The
You
conspiracy?
the insurance thing and the
Yeah,
conspiracy
yeah.
about that you were
Oh
reading.
my god. Yeah, I even do have the headline. I'll just read it. There's stuff going on, man, and so Nepal's Central Investigation Bureau has charged 32 individuals, including guides, hospital staff, helicopter, helicopter operators, in
Mhm,
connection with a $20 million insurance fraud scheme invoking fake rescue operations. So they were giving people baking soda in their food and sending them up Mount Everest. So the scope of,
brutal.
yeah, so lots of nausea, vomiting, and stuff like that. So, which can mimic the altitude sickness, I guess. So the scheme impacted 4,782 international climbers between 2022 and 2025, with more than 300 cases confirmed as fraudulent. So there's thousands of cases, but 300 confirmed now. So methods that they use, the fraudsters used forged medical records, inflated hospital bills, and fake helicopter manifests to file false claims with foreign insurance companies. There's been 11 arrests and 32 people are maybe. The corruption of this reminds me of COVID a little bit because they got hospitals, media. That was a different kind of scam.
Mhm.
When I heard about, the hospitals are scamming, hey, oh, aren't they? They're interested in helping
Well, most
people,
insurance
healing
is a
people.
scam now too, right?
Yeah,
Most
yeah,
insurance, like, does anybody pay insurance and think, wow, I feel really protected by that. I'm sure I'll get what I paid for.
yeah. A lot came out in that episode, and then there's the whole thing about like everybody goes there, even the amateurs, because it's the highest mountain in the world by only centimeters. You know,
Mhm.
to get this clout, and the ultimate Instagram selfie video, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why they're
Mm-hmm.
going. And people end
Mm-hmm.
up dead. And in other news from Mount Everest, just call it an update. So there's a complex reality behind the surge in rescues on Everest. That's another story, kind of related. They don't mention the poison, of course, the baking
Mm-hmm.
soda. But you got amateurs combined with tight season schedules and stuff. Like right now, they're held up because the Khumbu ice fall, which now we know all these weird places on the mountain after that episode. The most
Mm-hmm.
dangerous areas are even more dangerous than ever. So right now is climbing season, right this moment. So they're all lined up waiting, and more people are
Mm-hmm.
coming. More people are coming. So now they're predicting this year, just like the videos we showed, and anybody can go look at the conga lines, they call them.
Mm-hmm.
Conga lines of hundreds of people all tied together. One slow step at a time to the summit. For a
Yep.
fucking selfie video. Is this heroic? Not all, these people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and the other thing we talked about is less and less skilled people doing it as there's more and more Sherpas and there's more and more rich people able to pay to go, right? And now, of course, they insist on the insurance, which has created that positive feedback loop for the insurance and scam artists. So you think, I just think it's been done,
Mm-hmm.
and and I think it'd be one thing if people were going over and over again, like let's say going over and over again down the Amazon to research species or to find species or in to enhance knowledge or what have you. Um, but here it seems to be just to get a selfie, and I compared that to when I was in Banff, which I usually don't go to because it's such a shit show now. But it was lineups to get to that special spot that everybody wanted to get the picture, that everybody has the picture. And I thought, 15 years ago, it wasn't this. Not that Banff wasn't popular, but there wasn't that one spot everybody wanted to take a picture of to post. And you and and then people see the whole place through this screen, right? It disconnects them from that time and place.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think maybe the heroes might be the Sherpas. They keep slogging up there to
Mm-hmm.
recover the dead bodies and bring them down at risk to themselves.
Yep, yep. There's a lot of little fun details. Even more we could talk about everything. There's a lot of fun stuff to talk about Everest on a
Mm-hmm.
podcast. Truly, oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. Everything from like say the drones that carry up your shit for you, so you don't have to carry it.
Mm-hmm.
Further lessening your heroic um, nature, and
Mm-hmm.
then you literally shit all over, like actual human shit. You shit all over the mountain. Everyone does it all the time. The whole place is covered
Mm-hmm.
in human shit. That's another
Mm-hmm.
part of the
And
story that
garbage.
people don't. And garbage and oxygen tanks all over the place. Apparently,
Yeah.
the place is. That's why jokingly called that episode something like "Welcome to Mount Everest, the world's highest dump and human toilet."
Mm-hmm.
And come get your greatest selfie ever. And then
Mm-hmm.
every dinner for the rest of your life, you can say, I climbed Mount Everest. And
Mm-hmm.
then we're like, wow, yeah. With 100 other people in a fucking conga line. And we're all,
Mm-hmm.
everyone just shit their pants because it's too cold to open up. Yeah, they do that too, by the way. They wear like
Mm-hmm.
diaper. Anyway, just like, oh my God. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. Go climb a mountain next to Mount Everest. That was my suggestion
Well, I wonder.
to recover your heroic, to recover something heroic for humanity. Go put a flag on a mountain no one's fucking climbed yet. Do that.
Yeah, or just go help someone out.
Yeah.
Or just, not be fat. I don't know. Like I think there's a whole bunch of things we could do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was an
Anyway.
interesting one
Yeah.
because it was like the dichotomy too of like the old heroes versus the new quote unquote hero and what that word means. So that really came
Yep.
to light. And then also the sinking of, pun intended, the sinking of people actual skill level with what they try to achieve and how they have like a bot skill level as the Sherpas or the drones to go up there, right? And then the insurance is their bot trust system that they won't die there. So they're not really taking the risks that, say, Hillary did climbing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Then we
Okay.
moved on to gift giving because it was like, gosh, we got to think of something more positive after Everest was such
Yeah. Yeah.
a thumb in the eye that we went on to gift giving, and that was really I felt that that was really hopeful. I find that we get really stuck in routines in our society as well. We do this because that's what we've always done.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We talked about a lot on that episode about because it was the Christmas season, so and you know I don't know. We talked about gifts and stuff.
Baking.
Yeah, I mean,
Seed saving.
not a lot's coming to mind. I mean, I didn't take any notes about that particular episode.
Mm-hmm.
I did listen to it back or half of it the other day. I thought, yeah, that's pretty good
Mm-hmm.
actually. Because we talked about how I was watching a movie about like ancient England, you know, the whatever, the 12th century, all that, you know, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And the new warlord comes to power or whatever in the region, then all the other smaller regions and fiefdoms and they bring gifts like
Yeah.
chests and pound them on the table. And they and the new chief of the area or whatever chieftain opens them, jewels, boom, okay. And those gifts are designed to like, we're with you. Don't come slaughter us, please, and rape our people and steal our crops and burn our shit down. That's
Mm-hmm.
that kind of a gift.
Mm-hmm.
Versus like, hey, I got lots of extra eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Neighbor, would you like some? You know, that's a community building type of gift versus like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, the other type, I guess.
Yeah, like a forced tax gift. You have to give me like you got to pay the mafia off to protect you.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
gifts. Yeah.
That's not really a gift. Yeah. I get
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was
Yeah. Yeah.
it was good. It was interesting. And then, I mean, from there, we really did quite a bit on gardening and chickens. I think we've already dug into the
Yeah.
chickens, but some of the remorse I had when we talked about gardening was just not to remind people that they could just have a plain garden. No grow lights, don't start anything on the inside, just put some seeds in the ground and
Yeah.
try and grow the easiest stuff that is most caloric, right? So
Yeah.
like potatoes and carrots and beets and things like that.
Yeah. 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 We're showing some videos and photos of our gardens, just what we're doing. There's 100 other options you could do for a garden.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
do it easy. Make it simple. Be simple.
Yeah,
Just to start.
my friend Sean was like researching. So I didn't research this, but maybe somebody might be interested. Where it was like growing food in hay bales, where you
Oh yeah.
really didn't have to do anything, which kind of was interesting to me.
Yeah. People do that. I mean, I don't know. It's not my
There's
style.
lots of
But,
different ways.
yeah. Yeah. If it works, it works. If
Mm-hmm.
it works, it works.
Mm-hmm.
I do have an extra tip, maybe a tidbit, because something I'm thinking of right now. Because here's the thing: seed, temperature, germination rates. Okay, I'm tempted to plant seeds because it's almost time. The ground's not frozen, but no, you can't because it's cold out there. Let's use a carrot
Right.
seed as an example. A carrot seed, if I put that out there right now in this cool, cold earth, potentially with
Mm-hmm.
frosts coming in and other stuff, it could take 4 weeks for that fucking seed to germinate. And in that amount of time, it's
Right.
gonna rot and not do anything. It'll be dead. So good to wait.
Okay.
Good to wait. As the soil, you can even take the temperature of the soil and look in a book and ask, what's the perfect temperature of the soil for this crop? Okay.
Right.
So that's important to think about because the first year or two, I was like out there, I was like, oh yeah, there's snow on the ground. So what? We're winter gardening, and, you know, put a bunch of seeds in, cover it with plastic, cover it with straw. I'm like, okay, we're gonna start growing stuff soon. No, that shit was so cold that those carrots seeds that I put in didn't even come up one year. So
Mm-hmm.
slowly you got to learn that stuff. Just be patient. The last frost date for me is June 1st. Probably you too.
Mm-hmm.
Just wait. Yeah, wait till then.
Well, I've seen snow every month of the year where I live except for July. I
Hmm.
even lived through an August snowstorm, which is midsummer for us here, right? So
Wow.
you kind of, in Canada, you got to be prepared, right? That's why I like
Yeah.
the hoop gardening too, because then you can put things over. But, I never really I never really thought about, yeah, that it's also just about soil temperature. I always think about when the plant's up, the cold wilting the green of the plant, but you're right, it does affect germination level.
And to even get more complicated, you could, I can't remember the exact scientific term for it, but if I put a vernalization, some seeds you put outside before winter and they sit out there all winter and they
Mm,
freeze, and genetically their consciousness, their seed consciousness, I guess, somehow knows that, yes, now that I'm freezing, now it's time to come to action and grow. If I put my broccoli seeds in now, or put my seedlings in, which are actually, some of them are right here nearby. That's a Swiss chard. I'm surrounded by plants right now, by the way. It's that type of season.
me too.
My house is fucking full of plants, like all around me.
Yeah. Upstairs,
Um,
yeah.
if I put those plants outside now in that cold soil, they might go to seed. That broccoli is going to make seeds because it's
Right,
thinking it's gone. Anyway, so that's another level of complication. Just be patient if you're going to be gardening for the first year. Just wait. June 1st, the end of the
right.
last risk of frost. The soil will be a guarantee to be warm enough. Stick in your fucking seeds, but make sure you got good soil.
Yeah,
Lots of organic matter in there and manure,
yeah,
whatever, and lots of
yeah.
seaweed. Okay, that's my advice. Go ahead, start a garden.
No, I think that's interesting advice. I really like that. The other thing that you, oh, what was, there was one thing that you said too that I was like, shit, I don't do that. And
Yeah.
them starting the plants on the inside. But the one thing that
Mhm.
my learning this, whatever needs to be planted early, so like tomatoes or peppers or whatever, and I don't think about the size of the plant, and I need to start doing that, right? Because then I have these peppers that have grown really tall or corns that have grown really tall with these little tiny oreganos, and it doesn't fit the process that I have of when I pull them out. So then now I still have three half 1/3 full trays all sitting under different grow lights, which is a cost thing. So next year, I think I need to think about not only the time to start them, to get them in the ground in time for the
Mhm.
best growing, but the size of the plants so that they're in trays that are optimal, that I can pull out a whole tray and then plant it, right? And they're all kind of around the same size. So that was interesting too.
Yeah, yeah. The whole seedling stuff is another learning
Hmm.
curve for people because you got to start them indoors often too. If you live
Yeah,
in it, yeah, yeah.
and I don't know if that's the greatest place to start if you're a first-time gardener. I think the first-time
No.
gardener, the greatest place to start is things that grow fast and easy with less maintenance that you can just put into the ground or a pot, right?
Yeah, because there's a lot of like gentle, like this is a kale right here. I got it's a
Oh
gentle
yeah.
procedure because he started out in a very small seed cell, very small.
Right.
Then he grew a few inches tall, and I think it was only a couple days ago. You have to
Mm.
gently handle that fucking thing, and especially with brassicas, they crack. If you
Yeah.
bend them too far, they crack and die. So they're not
Yeah.
malleable like a tomato plant, which you can almost tie in a knot and it'll still survive.
Yeah.
So they can be very gentle. You have to learn like some of these plants. You really
Yeah.
have to be careful. That's why I talked, or I wanted to mention this concept of like a nursery. Like
Mm.
when you walk in there, treat it like a nursery.
Yeah.
You gotta be very
Yeah.
gentle with that whole process and pay close attention to what's
Yeah.
going on there. Yeah. Anyway.
No, I like that. I like that metaphor too, right? So it's like it does take a lot, and there's nothing worse than spending 3 weeks on growing a plant up and then cracking it when you replant it, right? I'm terrible for that, not giving myself enough time and or pots and then just doing things so quickly and then you wreck
Mhm. Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
I mean, the other one I can think of that's really, even though they've got a larger stem, is like squashes. Like you can't even snap that a little bit or it's done. It just
I got a good tip
curls
for
up.
that. That's the cucurbit family. That's cucumbers, all that stuff, squash,
Pumpkins,
all the melons, yeah, pumpkins, watermelon. That's the
zucchini, yeah.
cucur, yeah, all of that whole family of plants, direct seed only, or
Mm,
you're gonna have a real problem, man. They can't handle being transplanted and manipulated of their little roots. They just will die.
mm,
Very
mm,
sensitive plants, and I learned that the hard way. and then through word of mouth. Like it's
Mhm.
great, gardening. You can't just watch fucking YouTube all day. You actually have to go
Mhm.
make mistakes and do stuff. Like I planted maybe 10 or 12 cucumber plants. I started them inside. I stuck them in the garden, and like two survived. And I thought, why are
Yeah.
they all dying? Like within a day, they were dead. I thought that's weird.
Mhm.
And then one day, my wife comes home from work. She says, "So someone at work said, you got to direct seed the cucumbers so that they'll just die on you. They can't handle being transplanted." Then later, I read it in a book somewhere. Then it just
Mhm.
gets in your head and you learn it. And then yeah, you stick it. And then now that we stick them in the ground directly, incredible results. Also,
Mhm.
yeah. So
Oh, that's really interesting. Okay.
mhm, yep. Don't transplant your cucurbits, or if you do, be even extra surgically careful with the
Yeah.
roots. Like try to take it out in a whole root ball without even knocking the
Yeah.
soil off, and gently put it in the hole.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, very careful.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think you're right there. I get like it's almost part of my spring frenzy. It's like I gotta plant everything so I can have
Mm,
stuff right away. And
mhm.
whether it works or not, I think sometimes I just do it just to feel like it's spring because winter, it can be challenging. But I like that. And I do like the nursery metaphor. Um,
And that's important too.
I
You're bringing up
yeah.
something important, because also I've done it, you've done it, everyone's done it. You get too excited. You plant
Yeah.
all kinds of shit, and you're not exactly
Hmm.
sure really what you're doing. And then things
Hmm.
get crazy, and then they die, and then you
Hmm.
don't even know what's going on. So slowly you gotta
Right.
learn these little things. Like some things are best to direct seed. Some things are
Yeah.
best to start indoor, and you gotta really figure out which is which, and also where you are with your weather, with the soil you're dealing with everything. It's a beautiful thing,
Right.
and you gotta and all year long you're monitoring the weather. And regarding
Right.
gardening, why it's so great is because it's literally tuning you in to reality, even against your will, almost like you have no choice but to start
Yeah.
paying attention to the natural world and the weather, and like when's the exact moment. Like I planted peas
Yeah.
yesterday. Many hundreds of pea plants are
Hmm.
in the ground 4 weeks before the last frost, which
Hmm.
is the first time of going that early. But
Hmm.
you can go 6 weeks before the last frost with peas. That's very risky. So I chose 4 weeks. So we'll see how it
Hmm.
goes. If we get a
Hmm.
hard frost, they're fucked. But if not, I'm gonna have a massive bountiful thing. So you got to gamble a little and pray to the elements. That's why people probably did rain dances and shit at one time.
Or
Please
or
make it
cover
rain.
or
Please
cover
keep it
them.
warm.
Or
Yeah,
cover
I'm
them,
gonna.
right? Like you
Well,
could
I'll keep
cover
a
them
close eye
up.
on the weather. Oh yeah, I'm keeping a super
Mm-hmm.
close eye on the weather now for the next month because of that.
Mm-hmm.
And other things are
Do you
gonna be, yeah, good.
do you eat the pea shoots?
You could eat the pea shoots. Why not? Yeah, I
Oh,
don't.
I love them. They taste really good in a salad
I know
or
they're
as
really
a
good.
salad, or I've steamed them with like a ginger lemon sauce on them.
Mm.
Super good.
Yeah, you could plant just a whole tray of those and eat them, sure. And then they grow back after you cut them sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
We have
Mm-hmm.
so much stuff growing around here in terms of like little things to nibble on, green leaves of stuff. And we eat a lot of wild food also around here. There's
Mm-hmm.
stuff growing right now, like baby leaves of dandelion,
Mm-hmm.
tiny ones. Those are the only ones
Mm-hmm.
worth eating. They're all over the place,
Mm-hmm.
thousands. If I wanted to go, if I wanted to
Yeah.
go pick them, I would eat them, but I'm just too lazy.
Mm-hmm. Mm. I think pretty good. I mean, there's the miner's lettuce that's out there that's nice that just reseeds itself.
Hmm.
Yeah. There's a lot. There's a lot if people were inclined that they could save a few bucks just by wild harvesting. And there's, people that are weed eaters that have identified weeds that grow. Unfortunately, I think we're really doused in herbicides too, and you got to be careful of where you harvest from.
Oh
Hi,
yeah.
Trixie. Anyway, so that was so. I think we kind of covered.
Let's have a look. What do we do? What do
No,
we?
I did a couple on my own on the EI Madness, and then
Right.
recreate with the fella that him and his uncle are uh
Right.
it's not really suing, but taking to court EI over not being able to be covered because they didn't want to have the vaccination. And then I had a really nice talk with Andre about reclaiming the family There's no doubt in my mind that families feel really broken apart now, that, and my husband always says like COVID really did something to the fabric of us. So just trying to imagine what that would be like. And, a lot of us have fractured families now. And although that's sad, I guess there's also a component of like, how do you go on when you know your legacy is broken? I think I
Mhm.
think that's difficult for some, including myself. So those two were quite interesting as well. And then the last kind of two we had was like the food system we took a look at,
Yeah, talk about
and
food.
how, yeah, sovereignty from that. So maybe you have some more input on that. We had Harvey on.
Mhm. Well, we just talked about food. Just a completely. We didn't want to do much planning that week. We were
Mm,
you were really busy, and you're like, Dave, what should we talk about this week? And I thought, let's just talk about food. The food system, because I'm kind of passionate
mhm,
about that. So we just had a broad spectrum concept of like, because Harvey's in Cincinnati, Ohio,
yeah,
downtown, a big city,
food
and,
desert.
and we're out in rural Canada. So we're just talking about food. Yeah, he's in food desert.
Mhm,
Just
mhm,
just shooting the shit about society, food, health, and whatnot, and it went many places, and it was very interesting to me, and I'm glad we had it. Yeah, but I thought we were gonna maybe do another one later, more deeper look at it,
mhm.
but I don't know. We'll see. Because we talk about gardening so much, and all of these deep things connect, right?
Right.
All of these episodes, for me, create a quilt patchwork,
Mm,
which we will call
mhm,
the raft, the riff
mhm,
raft.
mhm,
Getting
mhm,
outside of all these nasty systems that just want to fuck us up and destroy our families and our friend groups and stuff. But I will
well,
say
the
about
less.
with the destruction of the family and all that stuff. Of course, that's a big engineered thing that's been going on a long time. And COVID really was like a nuclear bomb for that agenda for sure. But some people
Mhm,
think of that as like also with regards to friends, maybe more so than family, just people in your life who you realize, well, I didn't. I always knew you were a tyrant anyway. Now you've really shown it to me. Fuck off. I don't need you anymore. So is
mhm,
that too? Sometimes,
mhm.
there's a blessing too when tyrannical systems arise in the world, such as here in Canada. Um, you learn
And
who are
you and
heroic and who are, well, weaklings.
You and I have also talked about the place for hermits, right? I mean, there's a
Hmm,
long lineage of different types of hermits and hermitage. And, for me, I like the myth of the old crone, just some,
mhm,
older lady that just wants to be fucking left alone. But you know where she is if you need something, and she has that knowledge. And for for me, I don't think it was just COVID that I lost my desire to have any sort of socialization, really, or too much socialization. Because I think I was headed down that way just as an older person. Like I'm older than you,
hmm.
and that's just kind of how I am. Because I mean, there is a lot of talk about community, but some of us just aren't built for it anymore.
Yeah, things are different now, man. Oh my god. I think you gotta learn to
Mm,
live on your own too, a lot. You can lean
mm-hmm,
on friends, lean on family, and God bless you if you got that. But a lot of people
mm-hmm,
don't. So
mm-hmm.
join us on our raft.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I really like that. So coming up, we've talked about a couple of things too. So we also did one on psychedelics. I think people just need to go back and look at that.
Yeah.
I'm just quite worried about if psychedelics go back in the hands of the government, and
Yeah.
maybe they never left, and the mental health system. But springboarding from that, you sent me a video about this lady who was doing an analysis on trauma as a class issue,
Class
which
war.
was
Yeah.
super interesting
I
about
know.
how the elites hold the way, almost like the old Catholic priest is like, if you play to pay, right? If you pay enough, these elites will come along and show you how to get out of feeling like shit.
Lie down. Yeah.
But in the meantime, we've created, talking to my husband last night, is like people's default way of being is not sitting in happiness.
Yeah. No.
So we've
No.
been sold this idea that if you're not happy all the time, there's something wrong with you. But then I wonder about like EMF and the food system, how it's getting to us, how much inflammation we have. But I wouldn't mind digging into that trauma system. As you know, I'm not a believer in that paradigm, but one of the things that lady said too that really hit me. Maybe we could put up that video. The one thing she said was like in 2000s, the idea of trauma and how much it's mentioned it
Yeah.
increased astronomically. And you know what else happened then was opiates. And I was alive during that. And working as a social worker at the time. And actually, the first thing that the pharmaceutical companies tried was you won't become addicted unless you want to. If you're a partier and just somebody that wants to get high, you won't become you'll become addicted because you know there's something wrong with you. And then when that didn't take, because people were like, fuck you about that. Then they're like, no, you become addicted, not just because of the opiates, but because you're traumatized. And we need to really dig into your background and find out why you're so traumatized that you're addicted to these. But the truth is, the pharmaceutical companies and the medical establishment have been getting people addicted to many things for a long time, including morphine, Valium, phenobarbital, all of these have become an issue more or less for the whole humans. It's just this one really, really took, possibly bolstered by, you know, international effort. So
Put this
I,
on the
I
screen.
real I really, oh, did you have it?
Yeah, I'll show you.
Okay.
I'll show everybody. She's a famous lady. Now my YouTube algorithms keep putting up more and more interviews of this woman going on podcasts talking about things.
Mm-hmm.
She's an academic. Do you see it? Can you see it there?
Yep. No.
Put on up in studio if you can. I tried to share my screen with you. No, I could just tell you her name. I guess people could look her up.
I'm gonna grab
She's
it.
an academic. She's a leftist and an academic.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't say leftist is a bad thing because I'm a leftist in many ways, or I sympathize with the left and the right because I don't really adhere to either. But she's talking about how liberals monetize trauma.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And she's an academic, so a very smart lady. There's a lot to sift through, and I mean, it's hard to even understand. I'm not smart enough to understand a lot of very smart people like her, but she says things that I could understand. In particular, how there's an engineered class war of sorts, but with trauma and identity politics is a part of it. You know, it's all engineered, and she said academia from like 1968 onward is a part of it, and she's from that era, I guess. So it's a very interesting interview. You can't put it on the screen. I'll say her name. What's her name? Catherine. She's an Asian. Catherine Liu. Liu. Oh, you just put that up there. Oh, okay. The link. Anyway, it's okay. We'll get into it on another episode. That's why we're talking about it at all. We're going to go into it. More, deep dive into the concept of trauma.
Yeah. And the mental health system, because, you know, I hadn't thought about it as a class idea before, but I really like what she said. And the other thing that she talked about was like the self-flagellation around the trauma where you have to stand up. It's almost like those struggle sessions in North Korea. You have to, Molly Ringwald have to stand up and talk about how a guy kissed her once and she didn't want to, or whatever the case may be, to talk about how she's traumatized. And they were talking about that in terms of marketing. It's like, see, I'm not some rich person that's become from these nepo families of Hollywood. I'm just like you. Sit and watch me on a screen for the next 12 hours. You know.
Yeah,
so
and the
she was
concept of
interesting.
and something I need to listen to it again. And in full. I haven't even listened to it in full because so many things came out right away as soon as you start listening to one of her interviews. Catherine Liu. Catherine Liu. Check her out, anybody. Okay, and judge for yourself her philosophical opinions on society. But she said, if you think about trauma, and I'm paraphrasing, someone smarter than me, trauma is everywhere. Everybody has it.
Yeah, we're built for it.
Oh,
we're built for it.
Everyone's traumatized. But there's an enlightened few who are not traumatized, and we don't know who they are. They're out there somewhere, but you could become like them. There's something cultish about the traumatic thing, the trauma paradigm.
There's something dietic about it. Is that a word? Like
Sure.
deity, like
The deification of trauma,
oh yeah, that'd be good. That's a good one. Yeah.
like replacing God with a mental health paradigm.
Yeah, so I'm really glad you said that because wouldn't mind trying to find some religious leaders to come on and talk about what happens when we see ourselves through that broken, victimized paradigm. Like, I can't tell you how many times I hear people say, "Oh, we're all broken." It's like, no, we're not. Humans have
We're
been
not.
living like this forever. We're actually built for this. I think that it's possible that not trauma has broken us, but permissiveness and accessibility.
Hmm.
Like when you don't have to think about starving 24 hours a day and trying to feed yourself, then you can think about how you might be an adult baby and being diapered might be nice.
Hmm.
You know, like that seems to be the thing, but I think that would be a great thing to come up. And I mean, I also met this really interesting lady that I'm trying to come on. That she's built a whole um, event around skill building and sovereignty, like working
Mhm.
people towards sovereignty. So I'm really looking forward to that. But I think the last thing we need to talk about for our listeners is that it is the balancing act between trying to live in the corporeal world and spending less time on screens and homesteading and doing this show.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people live in cities, I guess, and I mean, maybe our show is not for them, but maybe it is too. I mean, I don't know. I don't know who would watch a show like ours. Probably people who like to homestead and also think like us. I have an anarchistic kind of thing behind me.
Yeah,
Fuck the system, do it yourself. I mean, that's really the
yeah,
point. That's it, isn't it? Because the system is no good,
yeah,
especially the mental health. Like psychiatry is a useless
yeah,
enterprise.
yeah,
That's a
yeah,
ship that's already at the bottom of the ocean.
yeah.
It's already sunk.
It, yeah,
Yeah.
psychiatry and psychology, like understanding ourselves through those lenses. I've been
Yeah.
really thinking too, you know, I believe in the dead internet theory. And even now I catch myself, it's like, well, research shows this, and it's like, who the fuck cares about research? We can't prove that. Just because there's some paper on the internet does not mean that that research actually happened, and there's no way for me to actually establish that it was positive or negative. So it's like understanding ourselves through those models anymore, it's has to go because it really is the medicalization of our souls. That's what it's become.
Oh yes, and the technicalization of our very
Hmm.
mind and body. Yeah, we'll be talking about technology on the show more for sure eventually
Hmm.
because people got to unplug. I'm sorry, and I hate to
Hmm.
be the people gotta person, and I
Hmm.
hate that statement. People gotta do this or that because we support an
Hmm.
independent people to be in,
Yeah,
just to be your own fucking individual also and do it yourself. But I mean, I don't know. I think people gotta unplug somehow.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like, I don't know. The social media, do you really have to be there? I mean,
yeah.
I think what kind of a question could someone ask? If people are feeling frustrated by social media out there, which I've left and I feel amazing, so take it from me. You'll feel great.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
if you well, I won't know what's going on, or my family's there. I like to see the baby photos. I'm watching the kids grow up. People are on Facebook for a variety of reasons.
Hmm.
But I think an honest question of why the fuck am I there at all? When you look at actually just the broader concept of the whole platform and the people who
Hmm.
own it, and what your
Hmm.
information is for sale, and your mind,
Hmm.
like is
Yeah,
up for manipulation.
yeah.
Fucking around with social media, it's very. I would say social media to me feels
Hmm.
dangerous.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think it's definitely a vector for contagion of many sorts. Like, you know, I know that there's this whole idea of sides, whether you're left or right or Republican or Democrat, but it is not true. It is a vying for your soul and your thoughts and your mind, no matter what side you're on. And not many of it's true. Most of it's bots. You know, it's just a way to grab you and sit you in front of advertisements
Yeah.
and maybe hypnotize you. I think there's not much value in it. And for the people that say, "Oh, well, my family posts pictures and I want to see them," it's like, man, there's this great thing called texting where you can get a
Yeah.
thousand pictures at once and look. I guess I
Or go to
just
their
don't.
house. Go to their
Yeah,
house and check out how
yeah,
the kids are doing. Maybe. Yeah, I
yeah.
don't know.
Or Skype. I guess it's not Skype anymore. Like FaceTime them or
Yeah.
what have you, and actually
Mhm.
see and interact. There's a lot of things you can
Yeah,
do. I guess
sure.
people have to decide what amount of life now they want to live in the real world and what amount of life they want to live online.
Yeah. Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so upcoming, so it is definitely we're in full swing into spring and summer. So I guess one of the things that we are having a tough time managing as, hosts and volunteers, because we're not doing this. Our goal isn't to monetize this. It's just to have some conversations with people that might be interested. So I think what we'll say is during the summer, um, that will probably be sporadic and do the podcast when we can, um, about things that are already interesting us that we're already looking into, right? So that we can manage the bulk of our time to be doing the things we need to for our families on our land and for our
Yeah.
own health. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, we can't have a regular schedule for this show.
Mhm.
But that's a feature of it, you know.
Yeah.
People won't if people love this show, I'm sure there's so many who do. No, I don't know. But
Well, people making regular content on a regular basis are trying to have it as an income and
yeah, yeah,
probably have more of a journalism background and stuff. And we don't. This is something we're doing as part of our volunteerism, part of towards, that anarchist mentality is that you just do the things you want to do. And this is one of the things we want to do.
yeah. I like that podcasting has an artistic quality that keeps me interested. It's something to do, and also to have conversations with you. You're my
Mm,
friend, and others, because I don't have any friends. I just don't. It's okay, but
mm,
that's whatever. Doesn't matter.
mm.
And so I don't really hang out with people. So I like to chat. I mean, my wife's great to talk to. The animals are great.
You've been social distancing since the day you were born.
I've been social distancing since 1995. Yeah, no, big time.
I like it, and the one thing I do like, that I've been really reflecting on with mine and your conversation is the difference in the view from male and female perspective.
Oh yeah, male female
I like
perspective.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. We thought
how
about
we
doing this.
see problems. Mm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're like Megatron. We both have our own powers. I said that last time. That last time. Because yeah, we have different interests, but they do align. And trying to do a DIY lifestyle where we can just get out of a lot of these things
Mm,
that are really just not designed to be of service to us anymore.
yeah.
Like the health industry, although emergency
Mm,
medicine, very good. If you have a problem, go to the emergency room.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know, man. Stay healthy so you don't end up there. That'd be good
Yeah.
advice. Yeah, more shows
Yeah.
coming up. So what are we going to talk about on our next shows? We're going to do one about trauma. We're going to do a deep dive. I have some interesting
A-
stuff about that.
And the mental health one. Yeah. Yeah.
And I
Both
wanted to,
trauma
and
slash mental health.
yeah, yeah, and we got to keep on the AI thing. I know it's in vogue, but it's important to just keep track of what's going on with this.
Yeah.
Social media, chat bots.
I'd like to
Yeah,
have one
dead
where we
internet
just.
theory. Dead internet
Yes,
theory.
I was just gonna say I really want to have one on dead
Yeah,
internet
yeah.
theory.
I know. I want to learn about
Mm-hmm.
that. I want to learn about
Mm-hmm.
the dead internet theory because that man, it's gonna make me not ever want to be on it ever again, probably. But
Well,
yeah,
it
stuff like
turns
that, I
you
guess.
not want to interact when you realize how many bots are. Like
Yeah,
when you see a post and then you react to it and you want to say no, you're actually wrong. You shouldn't do this with it, even if it's about chickens. Excuse me or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like there's no doubt that that's, not anything. And actually, we just got spammed. If you looked at the comments, some asshole troll bot 679 just posted 25 comments on her. So it's a
Oh,
good time
really?
to bring this, yeah, same fucking thing over and over again. It's like,
Interesting.
um,
I
yeah.
don't see that. Where's the comment? I don't see it. What's he saying?
Oh,
What the-
here it is. Troll. So if anybody wants to fucking tell this guy what an asshole he is, or don't, right? Because it's a
Stupid.
bot. Yeah.
Okay. So that's
Or
just
it's a bot or an asshole. In
would
my
you get
world, it's
trolled?
the same shit.
Really?
So,
Yeah.
and he commented
Yeah.
25 times, and it's like, well, I don't know.
The same comment over and over?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, if
No.
anybody has anything interesting to comment, feel free well, I guess we're wrapping up, but if anybody has any thoughts
Mm-hmm.
besides that fucking retard there, then that'd be fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyway, that's the stuff that's coming up. I'd like to do an update on how my broody chicken went and see if how the do nothing method is going. So the only thing I plan to do with her, Princess, is move her down because obviously the chicks can't get out of that high nesting box. So I feel like halfway through the germination cycle, not germination, gestation cycle, I'm going to move her down in a more secluded place onto the floor, but I want to wait till it's a bit warmer out too. So I think that's going to be really interesting experiment.
Yeah. Okay. I'll be looking forward to updates on the next episode, whenever that will be.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we'll work on behind the scenes about what the next episode is actually going to be about in general, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I
We have
really
options.
appreciate that. Yeah, I really appreciate that. So that's kind of our summer schedule, guys. I hope that you are interested in some of the things we are interested in. If you have an idea for our show, or you'd like to come on and have a discussion about something that you're doing on your homestead that you feel like might help other people, we're interested in having you on. So you could get a hold of us at our contact information, which is in the show notes.
Yeah.
And other than that, I think I've got to go to town and find chick grit for my chicks. And I'm really hopeful that spring is finally here.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's
So,
here. Okay, great.
yeah, yeah.
Great.
Well, thanks
Well,
for making time to do the show again, David. I always like to see you.
yeah. Yeah, it's nice to see you. And
I wondered if we should have called the show Two Grumpy Fuckers.
yeah, I know. But I think it's good. I don't know, man.
Mm,
I have this struggle with crankiness. What am I trying to say here? I have this struggle with the urge to just tell people to just fuck off.
yeah.
I don't want to talk to you. I don't like you. Don't come around. Like,
Mm,
but you can't do
mm,
that. You just can't do that. You have to be
mm.
civil. Even to strangers, maybe in public. Sometimes you just
I
like,
think
just
there
like,
is something to civility if it's needed, right? Where you don't
sure.
have
Yeah.
to unload on every stranger in the
Yeah.
planet.
I have been
Mm,
tweaking my how I'm relating with some certain people
mm,
here. It's just I don't know, giving off a pheromone of just fuck off, and maybe they'll pick
mm,
that up and just then go fuck off or something. I think that works
mhm,
too. They call it give the silent treatment or whatever. Anyway, there's
mhm,
ways to deal with irritating people in your life. Maybe we could do a show about that
mm.
to offer advice to people. Yeah. Of course,
Well,
I don't have good advice on that because, as I say, I just want to tell you to fuck off.
I wondered if we were the irritating people.
Worthy irritated. That's the problem.
Well,
That's the thing. My wife is
I
like, maybe you're just not likable. And I'm like, no, I'm kind of not, and I don't want to be. I don't know how to be
mm,
likable. I'm just like, I'm just happy here, doing what I'm doing, fucking around with these plants and stuff, and like, I don't really
oh,
want friends, and it's weird to say that. I mean, I'm sure I want friends, I
yeah.
do, but I mean, do I really? I'm fucking almost 50.
Mm.
I mean, I don't know. I got my wife and some land and dog and
And
a cat.
I think
Fine.
the male persuasion is just not so socially inclined as the female persuasion. So I think sometimes it's
And
just about dudes.
150 years ago or whenever, or for all of human history, people have lived on little homesteads out in the middle of nowhere. Wife, husband,
Mm,
kids, cow, chicken, and you're doing your business. People come and go. Sure, you
mm,
see the fucking mailman or the Amazon delivery guy once in a while. That's life.
mm.
And
Yeah,
you go to town when you need something. You come home and you're fucking busy doing stuff.
yeah. Church was such a big thing because you would go there and see people you hadn't, that you very rarely saw outside your family, right? So
Hmm.
this amount of socialization I've got so much to do, I just don't have time. And I
Mhm.
often feel like sometimes the things I'm interested in, because I'm not good at small talk, bring other people down. And I
Yeah,
and I don't want to,
yeah,
I don't want to do that. So
yeah.
I think sometimes just keeping to yourself is for the benefit of the community, or
Yeah, yeah,
like the
yeah.
great ruiner, right? So
Mhm, mhm.
anyway,
Yeah. I don't
but
think it's not people. It's not people. I really am not a hateful person at all. I'm really, really not. It's just I think that society itself is just something in general. Society in general is something just like, you know what? I'm just done. And a lot of
mm,
people, unfortunately, are still greatly plugged in to this whole
mm-hmm,
way of talking, way of acting, way of everything,
mm-hmm,
way of ignorance. Yeah, and
mm-hmm.
whatnot. But
Yeah, and you get tired of having the conversation, like, people, oh, you don't watch the news? Well, then it's like you're ignorant and you don't know what's happening. It's like, well, all of the news is a lie. So being told a bunch of
mhm,
lies doesn't help me
mhm.
stay informed, right? But
I know.
I get tired of having the conversation. So I'm learning the art of, like, my cat is cute. Do you want to talk about my cat? Or I have chickens. Did you know my chicks are cute? Do you want to talk about them? Or
Mhm,
just the weather. You can see how sometimes it's just like, hey, I realize the only thing that I can say to this person is about the weather. So it's like, man,
mhm.
I'm so sick of this weather. And then that's our bond as a Canadian.
Yeah,
I,
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
feel
Oh, yeah.
like there's something to that, right? Not
Oh,
not
yeah.
every cashier or stranger needs to know what my politics are. And I think sometimes we just need to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. There's no need to bring up to a random stranger or a local chap who you maybe run into once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Everything on the mainstream news is designed to control your mind and destroy the country.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just drop that in a conversation because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes these people they feel informed by that particular news, like they know
Mm-hmm.
what's going on and Trump this, Trump that. And it's just like
Mm-hmm.
you're proving your mind control by everything word coming out of your mouth, but you can't just
Mm-hmm.
you'll insult people by telling them that they're under the effects of mind control.
Mm-hmm. Well, and so I guess my reservation too is if that person is under the effects of mind control or just simply that is their politics, do you think what you're going to say to them in a grocery store is going to change their mind?
No, it's stupid. No.
So I guess one of the greatest ways you can get somebody to be entrenched in their ideas is to force them to defend it. And I
Mhm.
think having some of those conversations makes people more entrenched in their
Yeah,
ideas.
it's true. It's a fine line, It's funny between because they say free speech, you got to speak out, so totalitarian systems will not come into power. The Nazis, the communists, whoever. It's going to happen
Hmm.
again if we don't speak out. Gotta have, So it's funny, like where's that line when you're like, you know what? I'm sorry. Everything you just said is propaganda, lies, and it's bringing the fucking country down. Smarten up. Stop watching the news.
Hmm.
Just clear your mind a little bit. Think differently. Or no,
That
I don't wanna
that
say that to people. I wanna say, "Stop thinking what they're telling you to think, and think for
yeah,
yourself, maybe differently."
yeah,
But
yeah,
so there's a fine line between saying, "I'm sorry, you're saying propaganda in
yeah.
my house. In my house, you're saying propaganda from CBC
And I
News."
think each situation is different, right? So
Sure, sure.
I
Yeah.
and I, I'd be lying if I said that I was any good at that now.
Yeah, no.
So I just kind of just keep to myself. What I've been trying to do is whenever I go to town, having the most positive interaction with the cashiers that I could have, because that's pretty much, other than my husband, the only people I see.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
and
but
I've just become comfortable with the word curmudgeon lately, and I'm thinking, "That's great. I'm just a curmudgeon," and then people are like,
yeah,
"Okay, he's fine. He'll be left alone
yeah,
from this
yeah.
day forward." Okay.
Hey, it's good to know who you are,
Yeah.
even if it's not exactly what you thought it was, and actually maybe when I just had some like catastrophe happen at my house and it's too close for me to actually talk to right now and
Okay.
because of insurance and stuff, but I'd
Mm.
like to talk to it because it's been a
Oh.
real eye opener
Mhm,
that I'm not as
mhm.
skilled as I think I am. And
Right, right, yeah. I know what
and
you're talking about, but I'm not gonna
I
say.
pa- I totally fucking panicked, and
Mhm.
I'm shocked, and I feel like this sense of dread inside myself of, oh, when it came down to it, all
You're
the
talking.
stuff I
You're talking
said
about it.
didn't come. Yeah. Oh yeah,
You-
I don't want to talk about it to make me
you-
sad. Okay, we'll talk about that maybe in the fall when I'm far, 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 far past my own stupidity.
Yeah, my wife was away for 2 weeks just recently, and someone dropped by,
Mm,
and yeah, I thought maybe you'd be lonely over here. You know, oh, poor Dave over there, all alone for 2 weeks. And I thought,
hmm
I said,
I'm still listening. I just gotta let these
yeah,
guys out.
I said, no, no, the more alone I am, the happier I am. And he's like, okay, okay. Note to self, don't visit Dave. Like, whatever.
Wow. Yeah.
No,
So.
that's true though, man. I just like to be alone. It's like, I don't know. And I don't care, man. I mean, I'm just rambling now, but society's expectations. You're supposed to have friends and a close family and all this stuff and watch the news
Mhm.
and just, and then say bullshit all day long about stuff that just is completely irrelevant. And we'll all hate Trump. We'll all hate Donald Trump together and love Mark Carney together and just have no understanding at all of what's really going on in the world at all and have no skills, get fat, get stupid, and then take the euthanasia at the end. This
Yeah.
society, I have no interest. No interest.
Yeah, and when people tell me like the world is collapsing or whatever, I just like to remind them that it seems like governments are and possibly countries and maybe even this way of life, this civilization, but that doesn't mean the world. The earth
Yeah.
is going to maintain and we live in a cycle of both cataclysms and the rise and falls of civilizations. Like you can look at with the Aztec or the Chinese or Rome or Greeks or whatever you want to look at. The Comanche, they had a huge empire. There's the rise and fall of everything. We're in the fall and the next beginning of whatever happens next.
Yeah, or
So,
metamorphosis. Either way, change is painful. Change is painful, and
yeah,
we're going through some kind of change. I mean, or people are.
yeah,
I don't know. It's hard to
yeah.
diagnose the society here at this moment, but
Uncertainty is also painful. We've been sitting in that for a long time. So maybe that would be also something we could do is how to deal with uncertainty. And there's lots of different ways you can do that. Some are more positive than others. So I think we've got some ideas.
yeah, we do.
And I'm really happy to continue. I'm glad we hit double digits. And maybe at the 20th episode, we'll do another little recap so we can stay online
Yeah,
together of what we want to do. And yeah, and
yeah.
still maintain our homesteads, right?
And one of the reasons to get off social media in general is because you're not going to be allowed to say anything anymore. You're going to get literally be in trouble if you're on
Yeah.
social media saying shit you're not supposed to say, which
Yep.
is a lot of things,
Yep.
I think, coming down the pike. So I bet just get used to it now. The fact that you're going to need to do a retinal scan even to get on the internet, or a thumbprint scan, or punch in your digital ID to even be on the fucking internet, on social media, to just make it drag you down.
Yeah.
Just to get away from it now while it's still free and fun or whatever, before it becomes, I don't know, mandatory.
Yeah.
You have to be on Facebook in order to live. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows what dystopia they're cooking up for us? That's why we gotta jump ship.
Yeah. You got to build your own life raft, guy. I think nobody's coming to do it for you. What they are trying to do is get you on that sinking ship so they can milk that last little bit of capital out of you before it all collapses. There's other ways, there are other resource-based ways to run a society other than, this system that they've set up where our money isn't even really worth anything. There's no backing to it.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, it really feels like I think everybody feels this, that we're right at the last stretch now before the full digitalization of everything. The technological society is really, really very close, like currency and stuff, right? No more paper money. I mean, sounds crazy, but doesn't sound crazy at all actually anymore. It's always in that they're seeding the narrative constantly. People are almost ready for it now. I feel like it's coming tomorrow and not a big deal because the narrative is so seeded. So anyway, man, get out now before I don't know what this. Because what if they come around? I'm just thinking in a dystopian horror fiction sci-fi type of way. But what if they came around and said, okay, you got to, if you're on social media, you got to do this, that. And maybe some of us would be able to say, but I'm actually not on social media. I don't have any social media accounts. I can't join the system that you're in or something. I mean, I don't know. That's a stupid
Yeah.
example. That's a stupid example. But anyway, who cares?
I get it. Anyways, let's
Let's
wrap
wrap
it
it
up,
up.
David, so we can go do our chores. I've got
Yeah.
some chickens to check on, and I'm so glad you made it today, and that everybody who joined us either live or watched later on. Again, just putting it out there. Our contacts are in the show notes. If you have an idea that you'd like to share that you've really worked out for homesteading or living during this transition or stepping out of the mental health model, give us a shout. Let us know. We're interested in hearing from you. And until then, be well, everyone. And it's time to build your own raft.
Have a great day.